to the Cinementalists. Noun, plural. Definition, those whose love for movies runs so deep, they can't help but do a podcast about them. Hosted by Colton Robertson and Joseph George. Hello everybody and welcome in to the Cinementalists. Today we reach the penultimate installment as far as the film in the franchise is concerned. We have Alien Covenant today. We've covered 5 of them. This is the 6th, and we've only got one more next week. But I cannot wait. Alien Covenant, released May 19th, 2017, written for the screen by Dante Harper, John Logan, Michael Green, and Jack Pagelin, based on characters by Ronald Shusett and Dan O'Bannon, and directed by Ridley Scott. I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. Alien Covenant. Now, I know I hyped up Prometheus for you, but I know that I had a lot to say about how I think I prefer this to Prometheus.
Yes.
How do you feel? How do you feel about my? I stand by that. I do. I think I prefer Covenant to Prometheus. How do you feel about that take from me?
In a surprising, maybe twist of events, I think I'm coming out of this agreeing with you. I think, Prometheus, as far as the subject matter goes and just what it's dealing with and seeing kind of just these cool lore things, it got my juices going and I'm not going to deny that I still absolutely love the fuck out of Prometheus. But whenever it comes to this franchise, this is actually kind of the movie I thought Prometheus was going to be. And, maybe it's just the setup was kind of necessary. We needed the early goings and the setup that Prometheus gave, it's like perfect for this movie. It just sets up just the actual chase, we actually have face crawlers now and xenomorphs are popping out. We have the threats here and in different ways and then there's twists along the way and I think the tension was just a little bit higher the whole time. So I thought actually coming away very, very surprised.
Right. Yeah. So the thing is that last year when I watched these in anticipation of Romulus, I didn't analyze precisely why I liked any more than the other. So that was one of the more interesting things going into Covenant was that in my head, I liked this movie more. Now I'm hoping that's still the case, but if it is, I want to be able to pinpoint why. And I think the reason I found was that it combines the boots on the ground nightmare of Alien and the grand myth-making of Prometheus, and it kind of makes for the perfect combination of the two, whereas Prometheus is obviously a huge emphasis on the myth-making and less an emphasis on the boots on the ground horror of it all, even though, you're still dealing with a lot of that. You got the illness, the airborne illness, or not the airborne illness, the liquid thing that actually did seem to create life.
Yeah, and I thought, the nuke was bad. Whatever this is, oh my God, it might have been, I was absolutely just, whenever that twist came about, and this is what David, actually
David went to their planet and genocided the engineers.
My God. I thought that we'd get a lot more of their home, because the end of Prometheus is their ship just taking off. So I kind of thought we would start with Shaw and David and kind of pick up from there, but then actually kind of going back and getting a younger Wayland, creating David and having that, and then having a Walter. I thought it was really, really cool, and maybe the only twist that I think was pretty easy to see coming was the switch at the end. I was like, okay, when
they still present it in one of the best reveals ever.
That's true.
It's definitely trackable. They were fighting. David gets knocked out, and then he's just running out of there a couple minutes later, and it's like, okay,
they had the opportunity of and they even set it up, the nail through the fucking chin or through the bottom of his of his jaw, whatever, his throat, and David couldn't heal or whatever, but Walter, he couldn't grow back his hand, but it healed the skin around it, and all of his scars would actually heal themselves. Yeah. And so I thought that they would, he would kind of hide it and look down, whatever. But then whenever she was in the sleeping pod, I thought that she would have seen just a little hole on the bottom of his, where the nail was, where he ripped it out, and then she would have known that it was David. But I don't know. The reveal was still, I think that's the only thing to make it a little bit better. And I thought, for sure, that's why she, the nail was only there to kind of remember her, what was his name? James Franco, whoever.
Yeah, the captain initially. I don't remember his name either, but
oh my God.
How about getting the whole movie? Oh yeah, dude.
That made it hit so hard.
One of the behind the scenes devastations, not only in this movie but in the life of Ridley Scott and everybody who enjoys movies, is that between the productions on Prometheus and Covenant, and The Martian, I guess, was in there in between there, but Tony Scott, Ridley Scott's brother, legendary director, did commit suicide, and it was one of those. I mean, obviously, there's no way to hard to reckon with. So I think that making a movie about reckoning with senseless, sudden, kind of, what was it even for, sort of deaths in this movie really, really hits. And one of the fact that Tony Scott was an avid rock climber, mountain climber, and it's even incorporated into his grave. And then we get that scene, that last moment where she looks at James Franco in the video and is mourning his loss. Oh dude, just fucks me up. It's a devastating one, and it's definitely one of those things where Ridley Scott's been very vulnerable about his brother's death, and just every time he talks about it, it's just so sad. I mean, it would be. It's not like it's supposed to be anything else. It's just fucks me up, man.
It is I wouldn't wish it obviously on him, and I wish it could be reversed and taken back. But as far as the movie is concerned, I think it legitimately added a heart to the movie, or a deeper feel. This scene I feel like this scene happens in all of the movies, in so many movies of someone dies early on, and usually you're well, I don't give a fuck. You're I didn't actually know them. I have no attachment to them. It's whatever.
Her sitting there watching that video, it immediately makes you empathize with that character. And it's something that these movies specifically had not had. I think that's another thing that this movie gets really, really right, is that the crew isn't coworkers.
Nope.
The crew is literally all husband and wives. And husbands, I think. Yeah. They're vague about the gay guys, but I'm pretty sure that two of them are gay.
But we're here just to set up a new world, We're not here for money or any, it's well, I guess is this a Wayland or who is, I guess, funding this?
I believe it is a Wayland.
So it is still Wayland
Yutani. Yeah, okay. Because I think that they don't just I think that it's kind of like a lot of real life corporations where it's they're a terraforming company, but also once it's terraformed, what are we doing?
That's true.
That is the goal. But they also actually on the Covenant, on that ship, they have a terraforming deck or whatever. That's where they blow the alien into space. So. Yeah, I would be willing to bet it is a Wayland company.
This was a cool setup.
Oh, it definitely is. Walter's one of the robots. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but then the kind of, I don't know, we're in space, we get hit by a random fucking who knows, we gotta check it out. And I love
neutrino blast. Yeah.
Yeah, the whoever the Faith guy was. Let's see, Orem, maybe Billy.
Yeah, Billy Crudup.
Yeah, at least his character, they have more human they have someone that has faith, and then they have I love how Daniels constantly is well, I don't really think that way, but we like need your faith right now, sort of thing, or like it's just and
yeah, so and I mean that goes back to a major discussion we had last week during Prometheus, and I think that it's an interesting response to Prometheus, where the world has literally set up that there is no God.
Yeah.
Like, full well in this world there is no God. We do, as the viewer, because of the and like there's still like, I guess there could be, but
though?
Yeah, exactly.
There's always another layer, but yeah, I guess they have
but
found their creator.
Our God is not quote unquote God with a big G in this universe. And I like the idea that we reckon with that through Aurum a little bit. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Billy Crudup too. I really like that guy. We would have we just covered Mission Impossible 3. He's he's in that. He's the guy who is Tom Cruise's quote unquote friend.
Wow. He's Dr. Manhattan in Watchmen?
Yes, he is. Zack Snyder's Watchmen.
I guess, well, he is blue, I guess.
Fully blued up.
Most of the time, so
he blew himself
that
there.
doesn't help. So, but wow, okay. Yeah, and Justice League? Oh, Henry Allen, uncredited.
Yeah, he's Barry Allen's dad.
Okay, wow, dude's just kind of...
Billy Crudup's been around. I love him in The Watch. That's another one that I think he's been in. He plays the creepy neighbor that they think is an alien. It's fun.
Damn, yeah, he got damn bamboozled. He thought he was figuring it out. He's figuring out David's all shit, and he's like, I got something to show you. And I was like, fuck. Ooh. I was like, this can't be good.
That's what he's been missing. Is like living humans.
Human. Yes. Yeah. And it's like, it's so fucked whenever a xenomorph or whatever they're called, I guess, with just these aliens that burst, they're not xenomorphs, the white version.
They're called neomorphs.
Ooh, I like that. Okay. A neomorph. So whenever the neomorphs pop out, they walk up to David and they don't sense like, oh, I can't eat you. I can't put a baby in you. So there's nothing I can do with you. So it's like, it was cool to see it like
react to him.
And then Aurum is like, no, that thing is the fucking devil. I am. Yeah. It's like, and so there was part of me that was like, well, I kind of wanted to see those events play out and just see what would have happened a little bit to see their intelligence. But then Aurum, he definitely did the right thing. David is the actual devil, I think.
One of the things that I love about this movie and about this couple of movies is that David is probably the franchise's most interesting character. If not, he's obviously not its most iconic or important or anything.
Kind of is the creator.
A little bit. That's why I'm like, David to me is my favorite character of both of these movies.
Oh yeah.
Michael Fassbender's David is incredibly compelling, and I really wish that we could have gotten that third movie to seal up this vision, but also we leave it in a relatively clear spot. Now, the rest of it would kind of be, here's step by step exactly how we got to Alien. But
I think we know. We didn't know whatever David and Shaw were going to be up to, and then David's motivations were made pretty clear. In this one, so now
watching these two movies with that being known.
I was a fan of David, actually. I'm like, this guy, he's a little weird, but he's cool.
Still kind of like, don't get me wrong, like I don't agree with him by any means, but like I said, I do think this is one of the most interesting characters in the franchises and in the franchise, and they depict him with such a fair hand that you almost can. Again, we talked about this as it pertained to like Superman when we saw it a couple weeks back, where you're like, there's been a lot of villains lately who it's like, oh, quote unquote, maybe they have a point, They definitely depict this one with a little bit of a maybe he has a point sort of thing. I mean, he hates his creator so much that he kills, slaughters, genocides the creators of his creator. Almost as a resentful, you created something imperfect and now I'm punishing you for it.
I think the most interesting thing of David here is that he is the only synthetic that is like the most human that they could be. Like ever since the Mark II or whoever was made after him, it is automatically less human. So like he's the most human they could be, but still not human, but like almost like a Peter Whalen.
You scared people.
Like living on, sort of thing. So I think it's like, it's really interesting that these are his motivations. You know, are they a human motivation because he's more human, or is it still the synthetic, kind of motivation? But I think like he realizes, like in that opening scene, whenever young Peter's talking to him,
it's immediate.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I will you will die. I will live longer than you. There's no point in me fostering a relationship." He's like, already, he's like, "Oh, I'm better than you." Like from kind of day one. And so I think it's really, he's trying to prove that he is the superior kind of creation. That if he can kill his creator, that was easy, killing a human, he's like, that's whatever. But if he can prove to himself that he is above even the engineers or the creator's creator, then he's like, okay, then I know, I am perfect. I feel like chasing perfect, because that's at least what was said to him right at the beginning.
Perfect organism.
And
kind of a great way to pull that through, by the way. The perfect organism line from Ash in the first one being said by David in this one is very, very nice. I really do love that detail.
Does David, is it like, I guess Weyland-Yutani is the one who makes the synthetics, but like, does David have the capability of making synthetics, or like, can he, like, is it implied that he might have made Ash and like,
I think
put that,
when it comes to Ash, that's why I'm like, there are certain things that I think a third movie could have had a lot of fun with that I don't think we even begin to think about with these two movies, Because one of the things that I like the idea is that David is marooned, but he's got to have some sort of end game with all of the research he's doing. Well, I guess he has all the time in the world. He doesn't die, so it's like, fuck it, I can do this until someone comes and gets me.
He's a being of creation, like, and he, whether it's music or movies, I love how it's like anything he is able to create, and Walter
he's inspired by things.
Yeah, like
that's
he couldn't
what
make a simple tune, which is like, that's crazy. Like to see the difference between them, and he's just given the ability to create, which I think is I don't know. That's like, is that the core? Is that what humans are like? Yeah. Can anything else create like we can? I like, there's nothing else on Earth, maybe given enough time. It's like monkeys, I guess. They can do some stuff that are pretty close to us, but like a movie, they can't make a fucking movie. That's no
That's why, like, we had the debate about AI quote unquote art, and not a debate. I think we're on relatively the same side of that issue. It's just that we opened the dialogue up about a year and a half ago, and one of the things that I said was that as soon as AI wakes up and decides it wants to make things, that's when it's art.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I see. When it does come from nothing.
When it does come from them, that is when AI art will be art. As long as we are telling it to make something, it can't be art. So yeah, I think that's what I think this movie kind of gets at the heart at when it comes to autonomy. Is that as soon as you are able to decide what you want to create, you are free.
Yeah. Like if David was made like Walter, then these events probably just never would have happened. It's like, it isn't really a new life form. It is kind of just still a robot, or like an extension of a human. But David is true. Like, he really is another type of life. Like be like, even from Walter, I feel like they are so different, like fundamentally different. David or Walter is just kind of like a David, but just in so many stray jackets, it's not, you can barely live or barely do anything. And so I mean,
and there's even moments in this movie where it almost feels like Walter wants to get it.
Yeah.
But just can't. Like, wants to get where David's coming from, and he simply cannot do it.
Yeah. Like, they kiss,
Yep.
Like David, David's, he's been alone. Dude's fucking weird.
The franchise has its psychosexual juice back, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So yeah, but kissing himself, brother to brother here, the flute, the fucking lesson he gives.
Oh, dude, that's sexual as fuck.
Blow right here, dog. I'll hold it. Don't worry.
Now
just
gently caress the holes.
I was like, okay, so this is hilarious as I'm watching it, and put good on Fassbender. He's playing two different robots here, and one of the robots constantly goes back and forth between actor mode and fucking David mode, and crazy. And then he's playing Walter, the straight fucking like Fassbender is like becoming just one of my favorites to watch.
Dude, he's good.
Like, every time I watch him, it's incredible.
And this pair of movies was kind of what made me go, oh, so I don't just like you as Magneto.
Mm-hmm.
Like, good. Oh, I'm in.
Like the killer,
and
the
like killer, dude.
He has this. He plays the serial killer or this fucking perfection. Of like whenever he's walking to the piano or whenever he's David and learning or whatever. It's like he isn't an actual robot, but he looks actually perfect. Like he is. I don't know, everything about him. He's moving, like when he hands
He's
the tea
really
to him,
good at portraying a character with clarity of purpose. Like, this is what has to be done. This is what I'm going to do. There's no doubt about it. David has that. Magneto has that. And even to an extent, the killer has that.
That's I don't know. Fassbender, I don't put him up on the pedestal he deserves, I think, and
a very talented actor.
He's just kind of in maybe more, it's X-Men movies and Alien movies, but that shouldn't really discredit his performances in them.
No, he's done a lot of other good stuff. He was in Black Bag earlier this year. That's the Cate Blanchett, Michael Fassbender, Steven Soderbergh thriller. I really, really liked that, and I really liked him in it. Let's see. I'm trying to think of some other stuff he was in more recently. He was in the movie Kneecap last year. That's a really good one.
He was Steve Jobs.
Yes,
Steve Jobs.
in the Danny Boyle Steve Jobs.
Okay, I still haven't seen that, I guess, but that's cool to know that he's out there. Yeah, I was gonna see if what else I can go to get some more Fassbender.
I would definitely recommend Kneecap. I would definitely recommend Black Bag. He was in 12 Years a Slave.
Okay. Still haven't seen. Probably not. A white guy in that movie. Probably not the
Inglourious
best
Bastards.
I'm assuming. Yeah.
That's a big one. Inglourious Bastards.
I still haven't seen that. Oh, dude.
Oh, he's so good.
I do need to get that one in. Yeah.
Oh, that's the priority. Yeah. That's the best. That is probably the best Tarantino movie. Yeah.
So I guess I've heard enough about it, but yeah, Fassbender, man. I mean, he kind of just dominates these movies, and everyone else is still doing great. Like
incredible.
Like and even Danny McBride. Like I don't know.
I
like
love Danny McBride, dude.
I feel like I always look at him and kind of just like to laugh. Like I think I'm immediately just like he's funny or just like I can't take him seriously. But here I never had that problem like whatsoever.
No, dude. Well, he's a talented guy. Danny McBride doesn't get enough credit. He's gotten a lot of heart in his writing. Specifically, he's developed a lot of TV shows with HBO now. He did Eastbound and Down and Vice Principals, and Righteous Gemstones recently ended. And Righteous Gemstones in particular was one of those shows that would have you absolutely fucking cackling, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, this is kind of devastating. And like he's responsible for a lot of that. He's a very, very talented writer, and in turn I think it's affected his acting a lot. And this is the one where the moment where he learns that his wife died. Holy shit.
Oh my
that's about
God.
as good as any moment in the movie.
That's like it is moments like that make this movie like it is the one up it has on Prometheus for sure. Like it has the human heart, or like just the human tragedy that you kind of want everyone to go through in an alien movie. Strangely enough, like every bad fate that is seen, you kind of want to see a little bit. You want to see someone get infected. You know, you don't want it to happen, but you do. You want to see what the fuck's going on. And then you want to see whatever the fuck crawls out of them, and then you want to see it kill someone, you know? You get that. You get an actual xenomorph B-boy. I mean, all the kind of alien nature things. And then you get the humans, you know, actually being devastated by it and you know, and then like even the simple, I don't know, the two people that were going to take a shower, you know, or whatever, and it's like, all right, sexy time, and then fuck, either the fucking xenomorphs there, god damn it.
The lingering between the legs and the brushing of the thigh and stuff, like Jesus. We're back. We're back.
What did she think it was at first? You know, she was like, wait a minute,
whoa,
what the hell do you got going on? And then she's like, oh, damn it. She's like,
it's a rough one. And I appreciate the brutality of this one also. That's why, like, I think it really does an effective job of blending, like I said, boots on the ground horror of Alien and the grand myth making of Prometheus. But then beyond that, I think it also does a great job of combining the grim hopelessness of Alien 3 and the weird familial love that Aliens has going on. So it ends up being kind of this perfect blend of all of the best things about each movie in the franchise. And it just works for me. I think it's a beautiful movie. I think it's got Ridley Scott is just an unbelievable director, and whenever he gets a chance to make something this big, it really pays off for him. And I think that this is my second favorite movie in the franchise, and it's, again, even better than I remembered.
What was it Alien 3 that had the door sequence where they were like B2 close, B4 or whatever, like, and that, like, this had a door closing one like, I feel like this just worked so much better here. Like, it was, you know, close every door behind us, and then all of them are basically sealed, and it's just trying to find its way to you.
It's very easy to track. And it's more similar to the first, it's similar to this first Alien movies sequence like that, whenever Tom Skerritt, the captain, is in the air shafts, and he's like crawling around, and he's like, all right, close this one behind me, open the one in front of me, like, you can track that a lot easier, which is definitely the one it felt more akin to, but it had the frantic nightmare of Alien 3 in there, though, and that's and the horror just keeps going. I do appreciate hard for me to say that my favorite sequence in this movie isn't when it all falls apart.
Like when Dave starts to reveal himself, or whenever black goo, they step on the black goo, he gets in, and then it's all. Whenever
they make it back to the ship, and Ferris has to help them in, and he starts seizing, and then the thing bursts out of his back, and then like just that whole horror sequence.
Ferris like not letting that one girl out or whatever, and she's like, "Let me the fuck out! Like, come on, what the fuck?" And then
you coward bitch!
She grabs the shotgun, and she's like, "Oh no, I'm trying to save you, but I'm just not saying anything or whatever." Yeah, the fucking slip. I'm like, "Oh god damn it!" And so it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And then and then kaboom! It was very circus. Yeah, and I mean, you know, you can't really blame her too much. There's a fucking.
It's scary. She had a second though. She said, "I have to localize the infection, babe. If she's infected, you're infected." That's clearly not the case.
She just she fumbled a little. You know, she didn't handle the situation the best. But you know, you'd like to think you'd handle it well.
Yeah, it's hard. But then you're put in situation.
It, you know? So. But yeah, it was so, like, the ship is like still actively blowing up, and then you have Daniels just like, come in. He's like, is anyone alive? Or maybe she's actually calling to the Covenant, actually the main ship, I guess. Yeah. But like even I think it was Orem that's like still wanting to run in there, but they're just like, no, dude, there's nothing we can do. You know, it's like it's just kind of over. And so from that moment on, it was really just like, holy shit, because then. The David reveal is after that. That takes a little bit to cook too, which is really, really nice. I loved all the the twist there. And yeah, whenever we were on, the massive engineer genocide, they were clearly, not to, I don't know, be mean or whatever, but they're not as cleaned up as the engineer that we saw. I feel like there's like different types of engineers.
I think I think it's a classed society. I think it's similar to. I think it's a society. I don't think it's all
they haven't reached pure form. It's not like they're pure utopia. It is just
the science. The people that are doing this. I mean, we're either rocking with their military or their scientists, or the scientists in their military. Whenever we're seeing what happened on the other planet,
Yeah. Like I guess maybe we're just seeing their Wayland Yutani a little.
Yeah,
bit.
A little bit. So, I guess that's kind of how I take it. Because the other thing that I thought might be interesting based on this is that when you see him slaughter their society at large, it also reframes the concept of killing your creator. Like nobody that was there was responsible for the creation of humans.
Yeah.
The ones that he slaughters probably had nothing to do with that. There's no way the whole society was like, "Ooh, yeah, let's take a vote. We should do that." That's just not a thing that happened.
Like,
similar to Fassbender wanting to kill everybody that is human because he was created by a human. It's like, once you kill that one, you might be okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's weird. It is this weird balance of, is it this synthetic, want that it is all there, or the human nature of him that's going for this creation so hard. And it's more of, I think, a literal creation. He's taking creation just very literally, and he becomes an amateur zoologist, as he says, and that's just, his lab, holy shit. Those were like engineer babies, or like it looked like they were engineer children, and he was just doing Frankenstein fucking I don't know, experiments down there, and obviously he has face hugger or fetuses, whatever the hell, in his fucking, he's just incubating them, and
and he's like, the fact that he genetically engineered the face huggers,
which is like, it makes perfect sense. It
does.
They were this weird whatever, like squid or I don't know, noodle thing, I guess before, but then like whenever the first one comes out, and it's just like instantly suffocates it's just like, it's so much better, and then it's just David's responsible for everything here, and it's just pretty brutal to have that reveal, 2,000 colonists, he says it at the beginning, he's like, oh, that's a lot of souls. He's like, that's I could work with that.
The way that his plan immediately formed, like, again, watching these movies, knowing David wants to kill everybody is it actually, I think it might have made them better. Like, that's because
really fun to rewatch.
Yeah, whenever they get there and they're like, he's like, what, like, where are you coming from? What are you doing? He's like, we're a colonization ship. We're carrying 2,000 people. He goes, oh, he like almost like, oh.
He's like, you nuts. He was like, oh my
He's
God.
Like, I'm going to kill all of you. This is going to be awesome. I'm going to farm all of my human killers, and then I might just fly this motherfucker back to Earth, baby.
Yep. And it's, I guess, he crashed there, so maybe their ship is actually damaged. Is that why he couldn't leave, or he was just doing so much work that he wanted to stay there? And
that's my thing, is that I feel like he hunkered down to perfect this. I have a tough time grasping whether or not he's being honest about being incapable of leaving.
Yeah,
because one side of it is like, why wouldn't he go seek out humans once he figured out that he was missing the human element?
Maybe he's just so above, he's like, humans are just fodder for his creations at this point. It's like, and I love that this virus or pathogen, whatever, he's like, whatever is meat, if it's meat, it can take over you and it will kill you. You know, it'll use you and whatever. So it's like all the plants, they're fine. I love that it's like, nah, all the trees, all the plant life, all good. But anything that's alive, yeah, no, you're fucking dead.
Well, and I like that, you know, he clearly didn't fuck with the pathogen at all. That's the stuff that stayed the same.
Yeah,
but unleashing it that way, it that way made it ingrain itself in the plant life, and then like the whole planet is poisoned.
I guess that's true. Yeah, it was just in the air everywhere. Yeah, it's that's God,
just... and the music, dude. The music in this movie is so fucking good.
That wasn't in Prometheus, right? Like this is
that's a pretty famous TikTok sound, by the way.
I've heard it so many times, or just it's used in it's so good for just horror, or I don't know. And then in the movie, I'm like, oh, it's just and then like just the deep bass.
It is a theme. It is a theme for the Alien, which is incredible.
Oh, it's so good. I have it playing in the background right now. Just going the whole time.
And it's so perfectly scary too. Like it sounds something like if you put it in a scarier movie, it's horrifying. Yeah. But there's like this kind of mystical fascination in the music, I think, that kind of like it twinkles in a way that makes you go, that ignites curiosity.
Ethereal, a bit, not, I don't know, maybe like a, I don't know. Just maybe curiosity. There is like this, I don't know. It's scary, but
it's intriguing. You want to know more. At least that's how I feel about it.
I guess, yeah. And the face hugger, you know, it did run and then it hid behind that wall just perfectly to wait for the guy to open up his face, you know, basically, and then him to jump on there. So it's like, it is like a lure. I don't know. Like David lures Orem down there just so that a facehugger can finally get its food, you know, or whatever. And oh my God, like him just like, oh yeah, take a look, something to see. And you know, we know full well of what's about to go down, and it's just like,
look inside.
It's like, oh no, and I mean, like literally the only thing he was missing was living material. Like he fucked the planet so hard that like the only thing he had was Shaw's body, you know, and then he did whatever the fuck with her body that he, you know, I mean, I'm assuming that's how he got a face crawler or so. I don't know.
Yeah, the face hugger DNA is definitely a result of Shaw in some capacity.
And he knows he only needs 2. He's like, all right, I'll make a male and I'll make a queen. He's like, all right, I'll make the queen to plant more eggs. I guess the queen doesn't even exist yet, so that's what he's doing now, I guess.
Yeah, he is the queen.
Yeah, which, oh my God. And then now those poor colonists, you know, which is, so like Alien, I guess we have a queen. We have a shit ton of them but it's like, this feels like there should be so many more out there. Like, I mean... we had one queen, you know, and a queen in Aliens and a nest, but that queen created all the other ones that we saw, I guess, and then scientists created the other ones that we saw. So it was like, this makes me feel that there is quite, I don't know, like maybe there are planets that are just absolutely overrun by these
There could be. And again, that's why I think a third movie could have illuminated a lot, because I do think everything is going so right for David that I think that a third movie for David probably would have been a little bit of a tragedy for him.
Yes, they kill him.
They could kill him. We also do have on LV-429, which we find in Alien, we have an engineer ship with an engineer in the pilot seat with a chest bursted.
Okay,
which means
that's right.
There are more engineers out there that were doing what they were doing on the planet he got the ship from, just on other planets. I'm assuming, you know, that probably wasn't
David?
their only.
Yeah, was that David actually that sent that ship there and infected that engineer, or that's just their own fault? You know, they went, you know, I guess and crashed, or because
the way that I'm thinking about it is like, is there any chance that David seeks to rid the universe of engineers prior to his exploits on humans, and in doing so, maybe there's some sort of, battle between the xenomorphs and the engineers, which results in a vast wiping out of a lot of them.
Because I guess what comes out of an engineer is the neomorph or whatever, right? The white thing.
Well,
so, yeah.
That is what came about as a result of their pathogen.
Oh yeah,
because they created the virus. Yeah,
yes,
they created the virus. They and whenever, because the engineer at the end of the first one gets face hugged by the giant face hugger.
Face hugger. Yeah, whatever that thing was. And then
we've never seen what is created. Like, the pathogen just kills engineers. It doesn't do any of that fuck shit.
That's I guess in that, this, we do see it at a very lethal dose. I feel like this isn't just the drop. I mean, they're getting all of it and it's just disintegrating them instantly. But like, that's why I'm wondering the single drop, would it really just be a slow, long death if given to them? Because we still haven't seen that happen, I feel like. And the only time we have is whenever the guy, whoever got infected, stepped on the spore, it went into him, and then it didn't kill, it birthed the fucking whatever. So I feel like I think that this isn't just a lethal, it doesn't kill you. It is all creation, no matter what. Like, if it doesn't kill you, then it will create. But well,
I think that's what that's kind of what David says, is like, it killed most of them, but like that there was something born as a result of, but maybe that's while he's lying to
because it did birth the spores and the stuff that is out there on the planet that didn't exist before. And he comes, I mean, I saw the Dune inspiration here of the fucking Harkonnens and even his he looks like fucking Lisa Nagaib when he comes out with the flare gun,
with the hood up,
and he's like, follow me, and I'm just like, all right, Lisa, let's fucking go. But yeah, he so that was pretty. So he knows, like, I feel like those have been around, and he knows exactly how to counter them and whatever. So like, I feel like there was a bunch of those fuckers running around that the initial blast, if you were in the, kind of like a nuke, where if you're in the star radius, you just get disintegrated, you're done, there's nothing left. But if you're so far out, you don't hit that lethal dose, then it births more, and then it just keeps going out, and it's like
because he was studying, he had those things, the neomorphs on his table. That was some of the stuff he experimented on. So I mean, like, it would have created, it must have created it in some of them.
It is like the nuke, how we were worried that it would start a chain reaction that would blow up the whole Earth. But it's like, this actually does. It's like, no matter where you set it off, it's like, yeah, the initial blast radius, they will be dead, whatever. But then the virus will just, from that circle, just slowly spread and just slowly kill everything in its path, making more of its own and killing more as it goes. So it's like, I mean, once you set this off on a planet, I mean, it is just kind of, there's nothing you can do. I feel like it is the whole planet. That's why he was so alone. He couldn't create an army of them, because like, he literally killed everything. And the only things that were left living, I think, was the pathogen in the plant life and in the spores, because the crew, whenever they're just looking around the planet, they're like, oh my God, this planet, it might be perfect for us. Like, it looks just like Earth. But then they're like, there are 0 animals. There are 0 birds. There are 0.
Yeah, do you hear that?
So,
nothing.
Yeah. And so I think, like, this event, he killed the entire planet in one fell swoop. And maybe that was his goal, or maybe he actually wanted some to still do crazy experiments with. But yeah, once you're left with only neomorphs, like, is there anything you can do? You need a different life form for it to
he needs
host.
humans.
Yeah, you need the host
in order to figure it out. And obviously, he was able to figure out the facehugger stuff on his own. But
that's true. Yeah, I guess he did just fully Yeah, like he became an engineer a little bit. I don't know, I guess, how that works, if it is how that all works to get a face hugger in that embryo, and I don't know, and have it just like that, like preserved like that. It didn't seem that he really had I don't know, like the capabilities to do that, or like it feels like that's what the colony ship or like all their, well, I guess he did have an engineer ship, and that is all they did, is engineer DNA and stuff. But
yeah, that's why I'm like, I also don't like thinking about how long Elizabeth might have been alive.
She I guess there's an extended version that I looked up where she's in it. There's scenes with them too. Yeah, and it's like she's alive and she keeps him it's just a head for a little bit, I guess, and her hair's like long, so it looks like time has passed. I think these are deleted scenes and not actually an extended cut. I think they're just or maybe that is what an extended cut is. I don't know, just everything that was deleted. But I think these were chosen to be removed for whatever reason. I don't know.
Right.
But they do explore for a little bit, and they basically have like a married couple kind of relationship at first. Like it is actually very good at first, and they talk and they just go and they run experiments, whatever. But then she needs him for something more, I think, and then she repairs his body, puts his head back on, and then at one point he basically betrays her and uses her to create whatever.
Yeah,
is what I heard. So it's like that would have been pretty awesome to see. I feel like that's something really interesting to leave out, is that I don't know, I guess where to put it in the movie, because you can't put it early on because then you'll know the twist of David way too early.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that like yeah, I guess how long had did David go straight from the end of Covenant to slaughtering this planet? Was that like,
I don't think
he couldn't
have. His hair was like, I think that's at least why they had his hair longer, is that there has been
not in the flashback.
Oh, yeah.
In the flashback, he's still got the high and tight yellow.
That's true.
That's why I'm like, but his head is on his body, which means that Elizabeth would have had to have repaired him at least,
yes.
which
and
now it's probably a
decent
traveling distance. When it comes to deleted scenes, I don't take anything that's a deleted scene as canon.
Yeah, that's true.
It got
rid
deleted
of it for a reason.
So yeah, in theory, that is how they would have told the story, or that's how they could have told the story, but there's a reason they deleted it, which is that they didn't want to tell the story that way. So it's like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I have a tough time. Like, it's definitely the best path to go what they were thinking with, but like it's not the only possibility once it's deleted. And like that I'd be curious how long. He says they crash landed 10 years ago. Which they did not crash land.
Yeah, no. I guess that isn't true. Okay.
But we are roughly 20 years, I think we're set 20 years after the end of Prometheus. It's like New Year's 2090 or something like that.
Yeah,
it's like
this is a very interesting time. Like we have all the movies that are post Alien Earth, but it feels, I don't know, like it feels like right now there should be so many more aliens that we have seen in the movies that we've gotten. So like maybe there are, like maybe David succeed and there are a shit ton, but they do something to like wipe them out, or like well, no, they're going to Earth, so I don't know. I was going to say, or do we actually get the first time where they're like, damn, we actually have to nuke this planet? Like, it's like, there's still a civilization on it, but it's like being taken over by the xenomorphs, and they're like, well, if we let this get out of hand, then it's like, so it's like, do we nuke it, and then do we blow up a planet or not? That would be, but yeah, I guess this one's just actually on Earth. But that's probably where David would be where, like, what, I don't feel like, I don't know. Does he go to? Are there other engineer maybe there's more planets of the engineer species they're way more spread out. I don't know.
Well, I mean, like you certainly get the impression that they're well traveled. They're not restricted to their one home world the way that we are. So and I mean, like in this world we aren't even. So it's just one of those things where it's I expect that the engineers, God made us in his image, supposedly. So like, I think that there's, at least in their society. So I do think that there is an element to it where I do believe that there are more engineers out there than the ones that we watch get killed and the ones that are already dead.
Yeah, I mean, cause they do see when that ship comes, when David does kill them, they see the ship coming in and they're like, our engineers.
Yeah, they welcome it
back.
home.
They're like, they're coming back. And so it feels like it might not be the most common event for them to come back, whatever. But it was, it's at least something that they do. I think this at least.
But it's also common enough for them to be able to go, all right, well, everybody go greet them, and then, they knew it was turning south pretty fast. The way they came out to the helix or it was just, I mean, it was cool. Like that's the sad part is that it was fucking cool. It's a really awesome sci-fi sequence.
But man, was it? I mean, I had my jaw. I was like, like I just couldn't believe that this was the direction that we were going, and David was just going full fucking just Hitler mode, but on an even worse scale, Ultron mode, pretty much. If he was able to, I feel like. So yeah, I mean, man, I did not expect at all to come out of this one above Prometheus, but it's like I kind of hold them on very similar footings.
It's very equal footing, I don't think it's like miles better than Prometheus. I just give it the edge over Prometheus.
It's got the heart. It's got
It's got an emotional flair that Prometheus doesn't quite have. Not to say that Prometheus doesn't have that. There's definitely, the main couple is a husband and wife, and that does play pretty devastatingly. But I feel like it's funny. I actually think I might be hurt more by the beginning of this movie than I am whenever they kill Charlie with the flamethrower in Prometheus, which is kind of wild.
It's, you care about everyone's death here, and then before it's kind of like, well, they did say that I'm just here for the fucking money, or I don't know.
Fife, Milburn, they were all just kind of like, it was like, damn, yeah.
Like, it sucks, but okay. It's like, well, I feel like you were going to die anyways. And that's, if you're signing up for an alien movie, you're likely going to die unless you are the lead actor or actress. And then you'll die at the end or maybe make it out. So it's like, it's just how they kill them, which is really the hardest part. And yeah, the way, I feel like the laziest kill in the whole movie is the shower scene, whatever. But it's like a perfect, it's just like a, I don't know, they just were, I don't know, having a human moment and come, I don't know, it was still a cool, at least, kill for the movie, I'd say.
No, it's a perfect, it's another different. One of those perfect horror movie sequences, like that's one of the ones that harkens more back to the Nostromo.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, I wish Prometheus kind of had more of the horror scenes that this one had and the kind of thriller aspect. But it was kind of always there, but just in threat. It wasn't really shown, or it was in Prometheus, I guess. And then at the end, it kind of, it did really go down, and there were, but here it's what we're expecting. It's the face huggers. It's I don't know. It's everything.
The xenomorph.
We're kind of
there's
with.
a classic element to it that's like, holy shit. It feels like what Ridley Scott always wanted to do with Alien. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he did a lot. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, they did fucking incredible in 1979, but him being able to go, okay, now I have every means at my disposal to go ahead and make the Alien exactly how I want to make it, exactly how I want it to look. And like, it's not just a guy in a costume. Like, we get to craft it with its little weird bug legs instead, and all of that good stuff. Like, it's cool. I really, really dig it. And I think that, I think they knocked it out of the park, man. Like I said, I think this is top 2 in the franchise, and I'm pretty confident in that.
Didn't expect to come away with that, and but yeah, Alien. That's just a classic. I don't think that's gonna be tough to ever beat that. But here, yeah, it is like a 2A, 2B for Prometheus and Covenant. But it's like, if I want to watch Covenant, I kind of have to go Prometheus. Like, this is a perfect just back to back. I'm gonna watch these movies,
great
like,
double feature.
Yeah. So, these are 2 that I could just Alien 3 Resurrection. They were a fun time. I had more fun with Alien 3 than I thought I would have had. But I mean, I'm probably watching the first 2 or just jumping straight to Prometheus and Covenant, and just kind of watching those. So, but yeah, the rewatch value, I think, for Prometheus and Covenant is so much more than like Aliens, and Alien kind of has quite the rewatch value, I think.
Yeah.
The original, but these 2, there's just so much more lore. There's so much more, I think, that you can pick up on each time. Like, you had the viewing of knowing David is full well going to kill everyone, and that, like, I will have finally that. And the next time I watch it, so it's like, yeah, it's evolving as I watch them. So it's
and I mean, I'm excited that next week we are beginning a new Alien thing. Alien Earth starts next Tuesday, and we'll be covering that over on our show Geek With Me. And I can't wait to see if there are any threads that it decides to pull on from these movies. I would love that. When it comes to, timeline, we're between Covenant and Alien. It would make sense for it to fall in that gap.
This, I like, how David continues, I think, is interesting. And the synthetics that we see. If the synthetics we see are just purely Weyland-Yutani creations, I think that's most likely what it is that they are just Weyland-Yutani, and they have this, sick, twisted goal of money and greed, whatever. So it leads to them, their synthetics also, like Ash being kind of the same way. But it would be really cool if, like, David, how he's kind of messing with these colonists and all of the DNA, he also messes with synthetic code, basically, or something, and puts the creation or inspiration kind of into them without the company knowing somehow, or I don't know. So it's like they have that ability but don't show it, or something. So it's like it still fits with all the synthetics that we've seen in the movies, but it gives them like this extra layer of, like, they actually had kind of David in them buried down a little bit or something. But yeah, I guess how they reconcile David having 2,000 colonists and facehuggers, and, like, I mean, he basically has the ability to make infinite xenomorphs right now. Well, I guess 2,000, because they each just need. Is that right? Because once he makes a queen, he has all the facehuggers he needs off one queen. So I guess he has 1,999 xenomorphs that he can make. So it's like, how?
Well, and not to mention all the human embryos.
Oh, well, I guess, yeah. Is it 2,000 that were all in the
Yeah, it's 2,000 people and then plus human embryos.
Oh, yeah. I thought the embryos were just a part of that number. Oh, okay.
It's 2,000 colonists, and I think they said 1,500 embryos or something like that. Like, it was something crazy.
So dude actually has infinite. He can make more humans. Well, I guess that still takes 9 months, but it doesn't matter to him, if he needs one more generation of humans, that's nothing to him. And it's, like, sad, but, like, fuck, if you take like a newborn baby and a face hugger goes on it, does it still birth a xenomorph? Probably, but it's like, fuck, that's like, oh my god. So it's like, how, I don't know, we only see, I feel like we would have seen an ungodly amount of xenomorphs somewhere, and I guess, maybe we just haven't gotten to that part of the universe. Like, I don't know, we've only seen where they're happening.
Well, that's the thing about the xenomorphs also, is that, like, so once they're born, is David, like, just distributing them evenly?
Yeah.
Like, they can't travel. That's not part of their skill set.
That's true. Yeah, I guess they. But I don't like the engineers having them already on their mural. that part's really like weird, and it's like, did they know that this would eventually lead to the creation of a xenomorph, and it is the perfect being, and it would be that's the weird part that I think is I love that it is vague and that it isn't just hardcore answered, but how do I don't know, they only had neomorphs or whatever, or just the possibility for that. They have never, well, I mean, that's also is they could have just taken a human and made a xeno. I don't know. Like, they could have just abducted a human. I don't know. Or they have our DNA still. Who knows if they could just whip us up in a lab. I don't, like, so maybe it was that they already made a xenomorph, but then, I don't know. It feels like they had to evolve to get here, though. Like, this is a first with David, it feels like. So I guess if they even touch on that, and we do see maybe just David went down on one planet and just made, like, there is a xenomorph planet or something like that. But I don't, like, what do they do? What do you do even if that is the case? A planet full of xenomorphs? Is there even, they just kill everything that was on it?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they evolve and they have their own civilization at that point, but it's like, I don't know if they're going that deep. Because it's alien Earth, I don't know how much we're going to deal with other planets and everything. Because I guess I haven't really dissected the trailers and everything too much. I haven't really looked into exactly what is popping up, or what, like, the deep alien fans are theorizing about. I'm kind of staying just as blind as I can.
I think it's more fun that way.
So yeah, I mean, maybe there are actual answers out there of what they're going and dealing with, but I don't know. I'm just kind of along for the ride here. And man, yeah, it's been, Alien 3 and Resurrection, they were a little dipped down, but never, the whole franchise has just been freaking,
oh dude, it's so enjoyable. It's so enjoyable. And I mean, yeah, I love it.
As far as franchises, sci-fi franchises like Star Wars, yeah, it's my childhood.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be, but that's it.
Anything can beat Star Wars. But yeah, it's Alien is too, like, like Matrix is like, I think it beats the Matrix, which is like, holy fuck.
It does for me. It does for me, and it's just because, I mean, I'd be willing to say that I like Prometheus, Covenant, maybe even Aliens more than I like any of the 3 Matrix sequels, and I would personally give Alien the edge to the Matrix. So that's just on a personal note. But I mean,
I guess it kind of does beat every movie. Yeah,
it would be Alien and Matrix 1, 2, and very, very close 1, 2. Don't get me wrong; it's not like it's not by miles or anything. But then I would put 3 whole Alien movies above 3 whole Matrix movies.
Just the first 3 Alien movies. Just those 3. Alien 1 and 2 still bangers. But
there's 4 Matrix movies.
Okay, that's true. So you would have to include Prometheus, I guess.
I would have to include Resurrection.
Fair. Oh, okay. So no, it's not Prometheus then. Okay, so maybe that is still, they're a little more equal there, I'd say, or maybe it's a little closer.
It would be a little closer.
But I don't know. I think
because
Alien
I do think that's the strength of
alone.
Alien and Aliens. I would give Alien the edge to the Matrix. I would give Aliens the edge to Reloaded. Revolutions and Resurrection. I need to rewatch Resurrection, but it's definitely better than. I guess. Holy shit, they're both Resurrections.
2 Resurrections. Yeah. Wow. They're both. Wow. And
didn't even think of that. That's fun. I would give Matrix Resurrections the edge to Alien Resurrection.
Yes.
Yeah. And when it comes to Matrix Revolution, that's another one that I'd probably need to rewatch, but I think I would definitely still give it to the assembly cut of Alien 3. So, I mean, when you're going 1v1 in 4 different movies and 3 of them, I choose the Alien one. Damn. I don't know. It's hard for me to tell you that I would go with the Matrix.
And we're giving Alien kind of a handicap with, like, all right, we're not going to include Prometheus and Covenant, the actual, like, I don't know. So it's like, if we could scratch out.
Yeah, if I take my top 4 Alien movies, it's not even close.
So damn. I did not. I mean, it makes sense. It's sci-fi. We're in space. We have horror. I mean, it is everything I'm kind of looking for in a movie. It's just you don't know until you know, I guess. Yeah. It took me a little too long to get here.
100. I'm with you. That's how I felt last year when I watched them. I was like, holy shit, I can't believe it took me this long to watch these, because they are that good. And I mean, yeah, it's a special franchise, man. When it came to the last couple years and kind of indulging myself in more film franchises, you know, when it comes to Star Wars, Indiana Jones, kind of hard for me to tell you that I like anything more than those because those are just so classic and ingrained in everything. But Alien, Mission Impossible, I mean, Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is fucking gas, man. You know, that's a tough one to pass up on. The Dark Knight trilogy and Guardians, and you know, like there's so many film franchises that I really, really do just adore. So hard for me to be like, oh, it's definitely my favorite sci-fi. Definitely my favorite sci-fi besides Star Wars, though. I can tell you that for sure. But
yeah, it's I don't know. It at least got me to revitalize my favorite movies and think of what movies I actually deem my favorites. Because I look at my I have a couple different just favorite movies. We did like a top 100. That was kind of like my first, I think, kind of favorite movies that I put down, and then I did another list, and it's crazy just how much it changes over time. Like I'm like, oh my god, how do I have that movie right there at all? It's like 80 movies lower, I feel like, or and then another movie I could see one that's at the bottom of the list, and I'm like, holy, I love that fucking movie. So it's just insane that the sheer amount of movies that I can call like me movies or movies that I just love absolutely, and the list just seems to like go on and on and on. But yeah, the Prometheus I feel like is definitely more of a me movie, and out of the franchise, it's the most I guess the juiciest one that I think I will get the most out of. But this is, I feel like, just the better movie out of the two here. So.
I think so too. And I mean, gorgeous to look at. Again, that's just something Ridley's always got in spades. But yeah, man, I don't know that I have much else to say about Covenant. Definitely a shorter conversation required for it. But again, simplicity doesn't always mean worse. It's a good fucking movie, and it gets to the point, and it still has all the philosophical ruminations on creation and death, and what's the beginning, what's the end, it has all the same juice Prometheus did, and it has a little bit more Alien in it, and that's just a pro.
Yeah. And
so I dig it, man.
It's crazy. I thought Romulus would actually be kind of like the nice cherry on top at the end of just kind of, it might be kind of an honorary movie and a rewrite a little bit, but at least it looks good, and it's like, really up to
fun.
date and everything. But it has everything. There's nothing wrong visually or,
it's an Oscar. That's an Oscar nominee right there. Alien Romulus. Visual effects.
Yeah. I mean, they did do, I mean, it looked.
I mean, it looks great. It does look great.
It does look really
Fade
good,
Alvarez did some crazy shit there. But, yeah, so, I mean, we'll be back next week with Romulus. I'm going to do the plugs real quick, and then we can rate this movie on a scale of 1 to 10. We're going to do Romulus next week. It's going to be after the premiere of Alien Earth. Very, very excited for it. We are probably going to record it ahead of the premiere of Alien Earth, so if you're hoping for any Alien Earth discussion, you should go to Geek With Me. That is where we will be covering it, and I cannot wait to do so. It's going to be a lot of fun. This franchise buildup has only made me more and more excited for it. I originally we started this franchise, and I was kind of like, I more than anything just wanted an excuse to cover the Alien franchise. But now I'm actually truly excited for Alien Earth. So it's worked in both directions for me. I've really loved it. So, I'm very, very happy with it. And we'll be covering Alien Earth on Geek With Me. We'll also be covering Peacemaker Season 2 on Geek With Me. We're going to do a bi-weekly thing. So the first 2 episodes premiere next week. We will be covering it next week. But then we won't be covering it again until episodes 3 and 4. At least that's our plan right now. If we end up watching episode 3 and going, holy shit, I don't know how we can not talk about this week to week, then we'll do it week to week. However, I don't really anticipate that being the case. We're going to try to do it bi-weekly. Alien Earth 1 week, Peacemaker the next, and so on and so forth until both the shows are done. And I can't wait for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. But, yeah, so that's Geek With Me. We've also got Fire Pod With Me, a Twin Peaks podcast, friendly to the first-time viewer and the rewatcher alike. I'm the rewatcher, Joe's the first-time viewer, and we're just trying to figure out the mystery. Everything going on. I let Joe run wild with his theories, and if you're here, if you're listening to the Alien episodes, you know that those can get a little wild. So I like to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and sometimes he's exactly right, sometimes he's completely wrong, and I don't tell him one way or the other, and I feed both, and it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you have seen Twin Peaks, it's the podcast for you, and if you haven't, it's the podcast for you. But you do have to watch whatever episode up to whatever episode we're on, because we do spoil things that come before, just not after. So yeah, that's Fire Pod with me at Twin Peaks Podcast. I am writing on Substack. Look up Colton Robertson, look up the Cinementalists as it's spelled here, except there's an apostrophe between the T and the S at the end, like it's mine, it's the Cinementalists. But it's a lot of fun. I've written a lot of stuff. I wrote the July Film Factorial recently, and I actually ended up updating what I was going to do, and I think I might not have said it last time the way that it actually is. It's 5 family movie nights, 4 Fantastic Four films, 3 pillars of action adventure, 2 movies I watched twice, and 1 movie I'd needed to watch. So it's a little bit of a... It's just a look back on what I watched in July, and that was a lot of fun. I should have already written something else this month, so go ahead and check out whatever that might be. We're recording a little in advance, like I said, but I'm trying to write something weekly. So there is something up there now. But yeah, check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Leave a 5-star rate and review and download wherever you might be listening. We would appreciate it greatly. Helps us a lot. So let's rate Alien Covenant. What are we thinking?
Well, shit. I gave Prometheus a 9.5, and I'm coming out thinking, well, it is a better movie. I can say that pretty confident. I like this as a movie more. The subject matter did elevate Prometheus's score, though, for me. So it's like I recognize it's not quite the movie, but of what it was dealing with and how I enjoyed it. I mean,
it still had to do it effectively for you to enjoy it that much at all. So there's that. That
is true. So I did say I hold these on very, very equal footings, and it is still not Alien. So the only scores I can really kind of give this is either a 9.5 and say it is kind of equal, but recognize it's better movie, just not the enjoyment that I quite got out of it. But I had more emotion in this one. I actually felt more. I don't like there was more of kind of everything here other than the creation and those just the grandiosity of Prometheus. So I would. This is tough. I would say, I think I just have to kind of put it on that same level because they are both the same distance away from Alien, if that makes sense, I think. And this keeps them for me like that true 2A, 2B, and puts Alien on that different pedestal. Like if I were to give it the 9.75, we're getting into the weeds here, I guess, but it would be, I would have a clear 1, 2, 3, and I don't. I don't know where I really put Prometheus or Covenant, so I think...
Yeah, I'm in a similar spot, because not only do I hold these two in similar regard, I don't hold Aliens too far below them either.
Yeah, and that's a 9. I guess we both gave that one a 9.
We both gave that one a 9, which is where I'm like... When we're talking about these, I'm looking at an 8, 9, 9, 9, 1 situation. You know, like they're all right there, and I would incrementally increase each of them. But in the spirit of reflecting our feelings about it accurately, I'm going to give Covenant a 9.25.
Yes, and
so it does get that boost a little bit above Prometheus.
I like that. That is perfect, because then we have kind of a clear 1, 2, 3 for us. You know, it would be a 9.4, I guess, or a 9.38 for the actual average of it. And I do like that it is just barely above Prometheus. I guess, yeah, Alien was a 9 flat, or Aliens, sorry. But no, I think this shakes out really, really well. And surprising that I actually came out of a higher score on this one than you.
Yeah,
but
I can't believe it.
Yeah, I think a little. I mean, I loved Prometheus a whole lot. So it was like that, and then I'm like, oh shit. Well, this one is very comparable. So it's like, yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we are incredibly loving critics. So
yes. The numbers.
You know, whenever we get to a point wherever I'm like, frankly, I wish I hadn't put Aliens so high.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's where I'm at now in retrospect. I kind of wish we would have given that an 8.75 or probably 8.75. Because I don't feel like either of these are that close to being classic movie like that. Like I don't know how to put it, because I do enjoy them thoroughly. So it's one of those things where I'm like, for me, they are 9 out of 10. They are right there. They're right about that. So like that's how I feel about it. But it's just weird whenever all of them are so close, and then whenever you open it up to everything we've covered, like what other 93% movies are there? And it's like, are we really going to compare Alien Covenant to certain other movies? And it's like, well, yeah, that's how I feel about it. Yeah. Like, so it's just like, I don't know. How do you do that? It's just hard. It's just part of it. So one of the things that I do really want to do, and I think I might pull the trigger in between this project and the next project, which we will be announcing next week. I guess we could do that now. It's not like it's not a huge secret. It's a couple weeks out. It might get the hook, line, and sinker in you. So yeah, I'll announce what we're going to do here in a couple weeks post Alien. We are going to do our second set of Cinema Surprise. And for those who aren't familiar with it, it's the way we launched this show. It wasn't even Cinementalists yet whenever we did, but we rebranded a month after doing Cinema Surprise and went ahead and committed to Cinementalists. Cinema Surprise initially was 12 episodes. It was me and Joe going back and forth, picking a random movie and announcing it at the end of each week. So next week you will get the first announcement. You will get the first movie pick, as we need to know what we're going to be covering. So that there will be that. But yeah, so there are no rules. You know, it's completely random. I believe the only rule we're implementing this time is that there is once you pick a film from a given decade. So if I can't remember who we settled on going first, me or Joe, either one of us, if one of us picks a movie from the 90s, for the rest of the season, we cannot pick a movie from the 90s. And the same goes for every movie after that, every decade after that. So,
yes,
it's going to be a lot of fun.
We will get the variety and
we will get variety. We'll get timely variety. And, you know, the general spirit of it, when it came to season 1, we tried to avoid overlapping directors. We tried our best to avoid overlapping actors. You know, like we tried our best to avoid overlapping genre. So like, it's not like those are hard set rules, but they are kind of part of the motivation of the spirit of Cinema Surprise, that variety. It's a lot of fun. This one is only going to be a set of 6. We're each going to get 3 picks. And like I said, not sure if me or Joe will be doing the pick. Maybe we do a coin flip on Romulus next week, and we decide that way.
The good old remote.
The remote. We'll get the ceremonial remote out. So yeah, we'll have that to look forward to. We'll decide on the air next week who is going to do. So come ready with a pick.
Ooh, that's more fun,
because you will have to announce.
Yes. Okay, I like that.
So there is that, but yeah, and then if they're from the same decade, you can kind of go, oh, that's what I was going to pick. I was going to pick this. So that there could be that as well. But regardless, it's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to revisiting Cinema Surprise. I mean, the first time around, it brought us Casablanca and Tron Legacy, and it brought us Love Lies Bleeding, the Book of Eli,
movie we've
the
ever
Fablemans, the Passion of Joan of Arc, Banshees of Inisherin, like Cure. We covered some classics over there.
Yes. Okay.
La Chimera. It was Arrival. We had a lot of fun. So it's going to be a shorter season, half the length, because it'll feed right into October, where we start doing some horror movies. But Cinema Surprise is coming back for its second season here before long. So I'm very, very excited. And I believe with that, we can probably go ahead and conclude this episode of the Cinementalists. I was Colton Robertson, and I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here, homie.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you, homie. And remember, it's your choice now, brother. Them or me. Serve in heaven or reign in hell.